Assistance from Hell Productions presents. I'm going to keep this short, sweet, and to the point. Some of you might remember, if you've been around this channel long enough, back on August 14th of 2016 when I uploaded this video of an OnMac 301, that's OnMAAC 301 clock radio, and I called it a joke. Well, it was a joke, because apparently people did not get the point of the video. It was a really, really contentious and disliked video, for reasons that I don't quite understand. You see, other channels can get away with calling modern equipment crap, but yet apparently I can't, because all of the comments pretty much all of the comments that I got, except for the ones from subscribers, were about how I was wrong to do this, and how, oh, you bought it used, you should expect it to be broken. You know, I got an example right here. This is a pretty good example. You know, all the people that were commenting on this, and they thoroughly missed the point, because the problems that I have, at least most of the problems that I had with the unit itself, aren't things that you can just, you know, throw it away and buy a brand new one at Walmart for double the price that you paid for it in the first place. No, these were fundamental flaws with the species. And I wanted to see what the actual price was of this. I think I researched it back then, but I can't remember exactly. And it's a discontinued model now. You can't actually buy them. And what showed up on Walmart's website is this little unit here, which is obviously a whole lot simpler, for about double the price of what I paid. And oh, look at this. There are 23 reviews, and one of them is 5 stars, and all of them pretty much, almost half of them are 1-star reviews. So that has to tell you about the quality of these units. But, like I said, people, it was so bad that I just took the video away, because I was getting comments on other videos with respect to this one. And I don't know why it is that when I disable the comments on a video, I expect that, you know, the comments about the video are going to stop, right? But no, people just took to other videos and lambasted me for daring to complain about something I bought used. But to appease the YouTube crowd, I found another one. Now, it only took about 3 years to do so, and this one's actually been sitting around for a couple of months because other things got in the way. But here it is, another example of the same species. It's slightly different. As you can see, this one is the silver model, where the other one was black. And it does have, you know, the usual pattern of, you know, damage from being used, which isn't a big deal because it was used, and I understand that. I understand that it's a used product, but it is the same model number. So go ahead and take a look. You can pause the video if you'd like to read that, assuming you can. It does take a 2032 for clock battery backup, which is pretty nice. Of course, it's China Pride, so what can you say? And there's the manufacturing date on this one. I don't remember what the manufacturing date on the other one was, but I will be re-uploading that video, possibly editing it a little bit. However, here's this one. And what attracted me to it originally was the display, the dot matrix display. Anyway, these are the controls on the top. And what really gets me about modern design of things like this, I mean, the other one that I showed you over there doesn't really have that problem, but this one sure does. It is practically impossible to figure out just what it is you're supposed to do some of the basic functions without a manual sitting in front of you. Now, I know that when you get it brand new, you get a user's manual, so it's not really that big of a deal, and I'm not going to blast this thing for having a complicated control layout with no instructions, because that's obviously not a valid thing to do. But just looking at it, you can't just glance at it and figure out what you need to do. You know, on most clock radios, including, you know, things like this, the controls are very simple. Look at that right there and tell me that you don't know how to use that. That is total nonsense. Same deal with this one down here. And that one. In fact, I think this one actually has more features with respect to the basics than this one over here does, and yet the controls on this are so complicated. But, again, I'm not going to blast it too hard because it seems like everybody's doing that now, so I guess you got to jump on the bandwagon. Just to give a quick little overview of the controls here, just based on what I know, which isn't very much. There's the band switch here. Temperature, Celsius and Fahrenheit. They're actually double press buttons. I guess if you press and hold it, you get Fahrenheit. It switches it. There's this fast forward, sorry, that's a rewind symbol there. I'm not sure which button it actually applies to, but I'm pretty sure it's this one. When you're in a setting mode, you can use that. Here's YMD for year, month, date. Pretty straightforward. Here's our alarm, alarm 1. On and off. I'm not really sure how you set it. Oh, there's an alarm set button right here. Why do they have to make that separate? I don't understand. Anyway, snooze, sleep, and time zone. Again, I don't even know how it really works. Push and hold it. There's your time zone. And it's not even obvious how you get out of the set mode. Sure, okay, whatever. Anyway, how do you get the sleep timer to work? I don't understand. If you push and hold it, you get the time, but you can't actually get the sleep timer to work. See? I don't know. Anyway, there's alarm 2, alarm set, there's a mode switch, and here's the power button that turns on the radio. There's dimmer switch back here. That's pretty obvious. You have 2 settings, and then on the side here, they're covered up, but I can make out the T here. So there's your tuning on the top, and the volume on the bottom. There's the speaker right there. There's an opening. There's actually a line input, which is pretty cool. How you engage it, I have no idea. But maybe I'll go find the manual, if I can, actually find the manual, and I'll let you know. Huh. Well, apparently the manual does not actually exist online, or at least I couldn't find it. So if somebody has the manual, please do feel free to send it on over, because I'd be interested in knowing, you know, what they think and how they describe how to use some of these things. So we'll take a look at the dimmer here, and we'll use that to show something very interesting about this that I noticed. The camera, well, it does pick up a little bit. There's very little difference between high and low here. So that kind of sucks. And the other thing that I've noticed is, I don't know if it show up on camera, but it's very unevenly worn. Like, very unevenly worn. You know, for something that is, 8 years old, going on 9, that is really bad. Come over here. Even that isn't as unevenly worn. Oh, here goes my focus. There we go. So, and that is probably about 3 times as old as this happens to be. 30 times. Wow, that'd be really old. Anyway, so like I said, I don't know how to set the time on this thing. I push and hold the mode switch. I guess that's how you set the time. So you can set the year. There's the month and the date. You can switch, 12-hour or 24-hour time. And then we can set the, actually set the time, which I'm going to have to do because this is wrong. It's actually 6:20, not more like 6:21. So let's see. That's how you do it. Alright. So this is your rewind and this is your fast forward, I guess. Anyway. So there's our time set. So that's relatively benign. You push alarm set. There's alarm 1. Oh wow, look at how, well, the transformer is obviously not very good in this. I don't even know what that means. And there's the second alarm. See, you have to set both alarms when you are setting the alarms. Why can't you just set one? It's a lot of extra button pushes. So, anyway. I'm going to go ahead and turn on the radio, and we will have a listen. So we're on AM right now. You'll notice we do have a slightly scratchy volume knob, but that's okay. It's a digital tuner. If I can't actually tune it. There we go.
2020 with my team at Expedia Cruise Ship Centers, Parliament, Canada, and Westboro, and you'll get free beverage package, free gratuities, unlimited Wi-Fi, and...
It's really not easy to tune. And you can see from here, we don't know what station it's tuned to. But if we push the mode switch, it comes back, so there's one thing, I guess. But that's not very obvious. You could also retune it.
Yeah, it's going to be really interesting. And you know, you go back to arbitration, I had Pierre Dorian did a masterful job. Courtesy of Royal Advisory Resources.
Look at all the bleeding on that. That's like both stations at once.
The motivation is as individual as the runner.
And look at how long it lasts for. I could still hear it. Okay, I think it finally went away at about 1500. So, you have a very low quality AM tuner on here. Like, extremely low quality AM tuner. That goes all over the band when you move it a very little bit. So we'll change the band. Let's go over to FM. So it's at 108.1 megahertz. That's as high as it goes. So let's go down. Let's try tuning this. Okay, I went all the way from like 108 to 107. Very little use there. And again, we got quite a bit of bleeding on that. That's the actual station right there. They basically blend right together. I'd be very glad if I never heard that song ever again. So the stations are basically just like one right on top of the other. For the most part. Okay, there's a station here that it's not picking up really well. There we go. We do actually, and I gotta commend them for this. Okay, turn that down so I don't get my video muted, but we do actually get an external FM antenna, which is pretty cool. Yeah, no, that's the wrong way. You can see it go all over the place when I do that. It's not picking it up the greatest. And again, it's bleeding all over the place, all over the band.
.org.
Okay, there's a station here that it's also not picking up at all. No matter. Oh, there we go. Sort of. It's really not doing too well. That's a local station.
Of the year. But for others, it can be one of the
Je demande souvent.
You're making me feel in the present.
86.8. It's an interesting cutoff point. Alright. Off with you. I'm going to go ahead and set an alarm. We'll have a listen to the alarm. And another thing I noticed about this is you have to press and hold the alarm set button in order to actually set stuff. Which again doesn't seem very obvious. Like I said, I'm not really sure what the 1-5 means unless it's got different different melodies. Well, I think it's only wake to radio. Here's your alarm. So, you know, a lot of people, what they do is they'll stick their alarm on one side of the room. Okay, it's a progression. We'll come over here to the cat, who doesn't seem to care too much. That's your alarm. That's it. There's no volume control or anything. So, I mean, I guess it's a little bit louder than a Dream Machine, but really not much. Okay, we'll turn that off. And then I'm going to go set the 1-5 on one of the other alarms and just see what happens. You got 3 options, 1-5, 1-6, 1-7. Let's set it to 1-7, let's see what happens. If it actually goes off at all. Doesn't appear to have made a difference at all. See, it's still just as quiet. My camera is now not focusing. Come over here. The cat still doesn't care at all. So unless maybe it's for the snooze time. I suspect it's probably for the snooze time. You know, you get 5 minutes, 6 minutes, 7 minutes, whatever. Or you could push the snooze button 5 times, 6 times, 7 times, something like that. Whatever the case may be, I really don't know what else to say to you. So there's your OnMac 301. Oh yeah, there is one more thing that we need to try, and that is the temperature sensor. 29 degrees. Does it actually work? I don't know how to test that. Alright, so I have this nice little bag of ice right here, which you can't see because this camera has a very narrow field of view, which is very interesting. So we're going to take this little temperature sensor right here, which says that it is 29 degrees. I'm going to put this ice on top of it and see what happens. Oh, 28. Let's give it a few minutes. Okay, let's check it out. What's it say? 12 degrees. So I think that's a pretty fair assessment of this, that it actually works. So no, this unit does not, in fact, have a bad temperature sensor. So we managed to fix that problem by finding another one. Which isn't the problem that I had with it in the first place. I mean, yeah, it was broken, and there really was no excuse for it to be broken. You know, it was only a couple of years old at that point. But you know, if you're going to get on my case about something being broken when I buy it used, you know, fine. Fine. You know, get on my case for it being broken when it's used, but realize that you're missing the point entirely when I rant about a product that is a complete piece of crap, that really doesn't work very well, that's overpriced. Even at $10, I think this is overpriced. You know, for $5, maybe not so much, but for $10, brand new, no thank you. I would pass on this because it's a cheap piece of junk, you know. Trying to pry it. It's warming up a little bit. So the temperature sensor is responding well and working. So, no, we don't have a broken temperature sensor on this one, and so I can't complain about the fact that it's broken when I bought it used. It really blows my mind that these people can't see the forest through the trees. You know, if I'm going to buy a piece of China Pride, I'd rather buy a Sony Dream Machine where I know that it's, you know, got at least some ounce of quality. At least they used to have some ounce of quality. I don't know if they really do anymore, but no, the ICF-C1 wasn't too bad. I mean, the radio still sucked, but at least you could tune it. But anyway, there you go. There's your OnMac 301 Part 2 updated video showing you that no, the issues that I have are not with the unit that I had before. They're with the whole species. This one pretty much proves my point, except now I'm stuck with it. Which, whatever. I don't really care that much. It's just yet another clock radio in my collection, honestly. But, if I bought it brand new, I'd be pretty ticked off. If I had to guess, this thing probably cost somewhere in the neighborhood of $20 when it was due. So, $10, no. I do not buy the fact that it cost $10 when it was new. Or the notion that it cost $10 when it was new. I think that's BS. And that's just somebody getting upset on a video for no reason. Anyway, I will be re-uploading, may have re-uploaded the video that I published back in 2016, might have re-edited it a little bit, but you can see that for yourself and compare it and contrast it to this one, and you can know that my opinion on the matter hasn't changed. And thank you for watching. If you've got any comments, feel free to leave them down below. As long as they're constructive and not about the fact that I bought it used and I'm complaining about it, but I know that you're just going to do that anyway, so I don't even know why I bother. Oh yeah. And for all the environmentally friendly hipsters out there who will inevitably leave a whole bunch of angry comments on this video saying, "You wasted ice! What a waste of water, blah blah blah." No, the ice did not, in fact, go to waste. So get off my lawn.